Hello, everyone. Another edition of the Concord Athletics Senior Spotlight. My name is Wes McKinney, and today we are so happy to be joined by Heather Chernutan of the women's track and field team. Heather, so great to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, as is customary in this interview series we've done, we like to talk about the athletes' recruitment to Concord. And as I say sometimes as well, that everyone kind of has their own journey to Concord, but I think yours is pretty straight and narrow. Local product from Shady Spring in Raleigh County. So obviously you grew up hearing about Concord throughout your whole life, right?
Yes, my mom, my grandma, my sister all went to Concord, so it's pretty dead set on going to Concord. And I was really wanting to run track, so when Coach Cox reached out, I was really excited.
Yeah, I actually remember I was at the state meet your senior year, the state track meet. I always like to go over and just socialize and see who I can see at the state meet each year. And you put on quite a performance your senior year at the state meet, right? You was all state in a couple events?
Uh, I remember that it was a very stressful time. It was very stressful. I think I did the 300 hurdles, the 200, I think, and I remember it was intense.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Now,
was like really,
right now, refresh my memory. You had already signed with Concord at that point, right? So it's not like you're really auditioning
yeah,
or anything like that for Coach Cox. Like you had made your mind up. This is where I'm going. He had put your papers in the mail. You had sent them back, and everything was done at that point, right?
yes, I had already signed. I was really nervous because I knew he was going to be there because he was like, I can't wait to see you, see what you can do, and all this stuff. And so it was a little nerve wracking still because I knew that like I knew he wanted me there and everything, but I was just like, I really wanted to prove myself in a way, and so it was still a little nerve wracking through it all.
Yeah, I actually want to backtrack here for just a moment. You said your mother and your grandmother both went to Concord, so I guess it'd be like a double legacy type thing for you.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
there any other
I got knowledge
schools?
for it.
I'm sorry. Was there any other schools kind of in the picture at that point?
Uh, Glenville wanted, but they wanted me for like acrobatics and tumbling. So it was completely different. And I was like, no, I don't want to hurt myself, which is really funny because I got hurt freshman year.
Y- Yeah, I do want to talk about that in just a minute, but you actually just said something there. I actually want to backtrack again here. So you said Glenville State wanted you for acro and tumbling. Was that a
Yeah.
thing growing up? Was you big into gymnastics? Kind of walk me through. Was you big into acro and tumbling, and kind of when did you kind of set track apart from that?
Well, I had done like gymnastics from age 5, and I had continued to do that until about, I guess, 12 is when I stopped competitive gymnastics, and then I cheered, and I used that into cheerleading, so it really broadened more people looking at me, I guess, in my tumbling. And so they reached out and wanted to get me there to do the acrobatics and tumbling because it was a new thing there. And so I was like, oh, that's new, and it was definitely interesting. But then uh, I had always done track since 6th grade, and just when it was time for senior year, I just really I was closer with like track and running, and like even though it was from age 5 doing gymnastics, it just running was completely different in my mind. It was more of a like a passion for that, and so I just couldn't help it.
Okay, so you mentioned you don't want to get hurt doing gymnastics, acrobatic, and tumbling, and then so you train. I'm sorry. So you're on campus. Your freshman year, you train all through your freshman year. You guys start training like September. You guys don't get to run until December, which seems kind of like punishment to me because you have to do all this
Yeah.
training. And first meet of your freshman year, you're ready to go indoor, and what happens? Take me through it from there.
I had done the 60 meter my freshman year, and then my second event was the 400. And so I was 200 meters in the 400, and a girl in front of me had pulled her hamstring, tweaked her hamstring, something, and she had stopped in front of me. And so I tried to go to the right, and I dislocated my knee. And just right then and there, I know, because I was just tried to tweak over, and I looked directly at Coach Cox, and I just felt, it was so sad. I was like, I don't know what happened, but it was not good. And I remember Damon Akers jumped across, and he ran over because he knew what was wrong, and he was just like, this is not good. And he helped me hobble off the track, and Coach came running over, and I remember it was just, it was a scary time because I had no idea what was going on, and no one really knew exactly. So we were trying to figure it out, and it set me back for a whole season.
Sure. Now you talk about the setback there, but man, Heather, what a comeback you had. I want to get into that in just a second, but first I want to talk about, just kind of take me through, because you strain a muscle, you pull a muscle, the rehab's not that bad. Talking about a dislocated knee here, what was that rehab like, and what was, I guess, maybe the grind to get back on the track from that injury?
Well, see, we first tried to hesitate and take our time, and maybe because some dislocations, they said, they'll heal on their own, and, you don't have to do any type of surgery. So we first did that, and we took our time, and then it was just, it was stressful because I didn't know if I was going to get back out this season or not at that time. We didn't know. And then it was time. They were like, okay, it still hasn't healed. Let's do the surgery. So then I got 4 screws in my knee, and I had a cadaver ligament. And then they scoped out the loose cartilage, shaved that off the back of my patella. And so it was just a gruesome surgery. So I did the rehab. Trying to get motion back in my knee was the worst part by far. Having to bend it, they had me put my foot on the wall and tried to inch it down a little bit at a time, and I had definitely had some tears. People in there saw me, and it was not fun. But it was definitely a eye-opening experience for me to see how much I can overcome. And so I'd go to practice every day still, which people are like, why are you doing that? It's like punishing yourself kind of thing. But it was definitely an atmosphere that I wanted to be in. It kept my mind right. This is what I need to be. This is where I'm going to get back to. Eventually, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be a part of everything, and I will be back in this team, helping them succeed and everything. So that was really my goal in everything.
Yeah,
just to be a part of it.
Yeah, I would say that you definitely succeeded in that goal of helping the team out here. Your first year back is the winter of 2016, spring of 2017, and Concord's got a really good women's team already here, and you come back, and Heather, not only are you healthy and able to contribute, but you're on the Mountain East Conference champion winning 4x400 meter relay team. And that was in the spring of 2017. So what was that feeling like to not only be like, hey, I'm healthy, I'm running at a pretty good level. No, you're running at a championship level.
It was definitely nice and everything. That feeling was unbelievable to me. I had never gotten podium at that point. I was like, wow, I saw it before, the season before. I was like, wow, I really want that. And I remember that that race was unbelievable because we had just blew it out of the water from earlier in the season and everything. And I just remember it was so overwhelming. And I was just so proud of everyone on that. It was not just me.
Yeah, you guys, the next year in 2018, you guys don't win, but you still get on the podium in the 4x400 meter relay. You just miss your own individual podium in the 400 meter hurdles. at the conference championship as well. So I guess with winning the conference championship in the 4x400 meter the previous year, what was it, I guess, maybe like to have the kind of the target on your back going into 2018?
It was really stressful, honestly, because we knew that we had to like go out because we knew that people were doing just as good and everything, and it was just going to be down to the wire of who was going to win, all that stuff coming in, and so we were like, we got to go, and it was just, it was really sad to like not win that second time, but it was also, in my mind, I was still super proud that we still made podium and everything, so it was still exciting.
Yeah, and then last year, as we look at your performances from last year, you're fourth in the 400-meter hurdles last year. Your teammate, Josie Smith, does get on the podium. Obviously, everyone has to have a training partner to succeed in track and field cross country. I'm a firm believer in that. So what was it like for you and Josie each day to kind of push each other?
We had some fun times. I'm not gonna lie. We would go back and forth, and so she'd kill it on these every workout, and it just made me like keep in check. Like, hey, we are gonna get this together. We're gonna get podium together. We are going to fight. And so we had some laughs. She definitely. I was never the best going over a hurdle, or my form or anything like that, and so she always gave me tips. She always was helpful and keeping me like, Heather, don't just be discouraged if you stutter to a hurdle. Just attack it. And so she really helped me completely, by far.
Final thing for you here. Let's rewind it a little bit. Go back to your freshman year, and I counted it up the other day. 12 freshmen, just on the women's side of things. That's not counting all the freshmen men that Coach Cox brought in the signing class of 2016, I guess it would have been. I'm sorry, 2015. But just talk about how close you guys were, because a lot of you, whether you graduated in 3 years, in the case of Caitlin Hubbard and Madison Sanders, or some of them in 4.5 years, your case, she was around for a fifth. How close was that group of girls, all 12 of you there, coming into the fall of 2015?
Oh, we were really close. It was unreal, because I mean we were the biggest group to come in that I could see, and I was like, wow, we did everything together, man. And we still keep in contact now. Like, it's, even though like Caitlin and Emily and them graduated, like we all still keep in contact. Like me and Linda, we're all in a group chat. We still talk. We're still talking about like our everyday lives, like job opportunities, graduation and all that stuff, and just continuing life. It's really nice to, like, that Concord brought me like all these lifelong friends that I never knew I was going to gain, like as strong of a bond that I have with, especially with all the people that from my freshman year, like everybody there.
Well, Heather, we certainly appreciate the time today, and with you not being too far up the road there in Shady Spring, hopefully we'll see you around campus sooner rather than later.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
Once again, Heather Chernutan joining us here on the Concord Athletics Senior Spotlight.